Hi there, welcome to the channel. If you've not been here before, my name is Sue and I have been eating a carnivore, sometimes ketovore diet now since May 2022, and today I'm doing just a update on my weight loss and telling you about a little bit of an experiment that I'm doing with Allulose and my results, and just some changes that I've made over the last week or so since my last video. So as I said, I've been experimenting with Allulose, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the video. But for this week, I have got no weight loss to report, and I think that is because I've got a hair annoying my eye. I think that's because my gut has been a bit upset, and just with the whole histamine issues that I was having doing BBBE and just kind of recovering from that. I think that's a big part of what was going on. If you didn't see my last video, you can go and check that out. But what happened basically was that I decided to do BBBE for the month of January, 4-wheel carnivore month, so just beef, bacon, butter and eggs. But what I found is the same thing that I've found in the past when I have taken out all the plants from my diet, and that is that gradually I started having a lot of histamine issues and oxalate dumping. And the histamine issues just kind of tend to get worse and worse. Lots of diarrhea and just misery and depression in the end. And it just gets to the point where I just kind of go, that's enough. I'm not doing this anymore. So that was where I was at last week, basically, when I did my video. And so at that point, I think I was on day 18 or 19 of the challenge. And it is now day 26, 26th of January. So what else has changed in this last week? So as I said, there's no weight loss. My weight has just been kind of going up and down by a few hundred grams, maybe 300 grams or so. But basically no weight loss to report. However, I do feel like I have lost a little bit of something because my jeans are starting to feel a little bit looser again, because I had gained 4 kilos over the couple of months prior to starting this at the beginning of January. And I mean, since the beginning of January, I'm down about 2.5 kilos from where I was. So, I'm pretty happy with where I am. I'm 3.5 weeks into this, so 2.5 kilos is still okay for me, considering how slowly I tend to lose weight. So, if you've not watched my prior videos about when I've been talking about my weight loss challenge, what I'm basically doing is focusing on my blood glucose and my ketones, trying to keep myself in ketosis, and so that's kind of my strategy at this point, and so far it seems to be working. Now, a couple of months ago, I switched my eating around to eating my main meal for breakfast in the morning. Now, my thoughts around that were to do with cortisol, first thing in the morning, and just being able to, keeping my fasting time through the late afternoon and night through the morning. But what I found was that, so I've done it for a couple of months. Prior to focusing on my blood glucose and my ketones, I really hadn't lost any weight. I was actually gaining weight. So that really didn't work there, didn't make a lot of difference. And the other thing that I found is that it kind of doesn't really work well for me with work and with my bowel issues, just because it kind of messes with my head a little bit. If my gut gets a bit upset, if I've got food in my belly, that makes it worse. Like, I'm more likely to be going to the toilet more often if my bowel does get upset, which it has, since I've been doing the BBBE, which then increases my stress levels. So that's kind of defeating the purpose a little bit. Now, my idea also with it was to do breakfast in the morning as my main meal, have a smaller meal around lunchtime, 2 o'clock. But I struggle with that as well because, I'm not hungry, and sometimes it doesn't work for me with work, and I can't do just one meal at breakfast because I can't eat enough. A while back I might have been able to, maybe, but now I can't. I've been focusing on my leptin resistance, and so my appetite has kind of changed and it's not quite as big. And in the morning, I really find that I can only eat probably 1,000 calories max, maybe 1,200 if I really push it, and that's not enough for the day. So it's not going to work for me doing OMAD in the morning. So what I decided was that I was going to switch back to doing one meal a day in the evening, because my appetite's bigger, I'm hungry then, and I can eat more. ideally, if I didn't have to work, I would eat my main meal at lunchtime and just have my OMAD then, because I'm usually fairly hungry by then, and that would probably be fine, but I can't do that. So what I'm doing, I switched to my evening meal, but then I was fully aware, and I noticed as soon as I started that then my blood glucose was a bit higher in the morning and my ketones were a little bit higher in the morning. And so I'd kind of thought about doing a bit of an experiment with allulose, because I've been listening to different people talking about it, like Nick Norwitz and Ben Bickman and different ones. And then I was listening to Dr. Boz talking about allulose and how she was wrong about it. And so I thought, well, maybe I might do a little bit of an experiment with that. So I started using some allulose with my meals, and also taking some in, a hot drink during the day. So whether that's just a egg yolk and butter kind of latte type thing, or in my dandelion coffee, I'll put some butter and a little bit of allulose in that as well. So what I've been doing is taking the allulose basically 3 times a day. Now, when I first started taking it, I was a little bit heavy-handed, and it did upset my gut. And so I ended up doing a day without it, because me being me, I decided to try allulose and MCT oil at the same time. So it really upset my bowel. It had just started to settle down, and it took off again. So I had to stop all of it for a day, and then I've left the MCT oil alone, but I will try that again later. And I'm taking the allulose to see if it lowers my blood glucose. Now, it's taken a few days, and I had to back off on my dose, so I basically have been taking about 8 grams a day, 8 or 9 grams. I found when I did 10 grams, it upset my bowel, not badly, but a little bit. So I've backed off, and I'm doing about 8 grams. So I do maybe a half a teaspoon in the morning. Around lunchtime, I'll do another half a teaspoon, and maybe a teaspoon around dinner time. And that seems to be working. And what I'm finding is that the last 2 or 3 days, my fasting glucose in the morning and my ketones have really surprised me. So yesterday, they really surprised me. And when I got up in the morning and took them, just going to find it on my little chart here, my glucose yesterday was 4.9. So 4.9 is, I think I've got that actually written down here somewhere. 4.9 is 88.2 in the American measurements. And my ketones were 2.3. That's the highest ketones that I have ever had. And my dinner, I had it at 6:30 at night, and it was quite a big meal. So I was really happy with that. This morning, my blood glucose was 5.1, which is 91.8, and my ketones were 1.9. So the last 2 mornings, my ketones have been fantastic. And because I'm using Dr. Boz's ratio that she uses to work out kind of where you're at with your blood glucose and ketones, she created that to help her mum and others to be able to kind of work it out, to make it easier to work out where you're at. And so with her ratio, if you are under 100 with her ratio, you are in kind of fat loss mode. If you're under 40, if you're under 80, that's a good place, and you may be starting to get into autophagy. If you're under 40, you're definitely in autophagy. And so my ratios the last 2 mornings have been 38 and 48. Is that right? Yeah, 38 and 48 the last 2 mornings, and that's with a big meal both nights the night before. So I'm really pretty happy with that, and my weight actually went down slightly from where it was this today, about half a kilo from yesterday. So yeah, but I've had a bit of fluid retention, so I think my weight's kind of varying a little bit with that as well. The humidity is kind of causing that, and I'm not sure what else is going on. I've got a feeling with my body adapting to the allulose, because what I found when I first started taking it the first few days, because I've been taking it now for, let me see, I've been taking it for, I started on the 8th, and today's the 16th, so about a week ago, but then I had 1 day or 2 days where I didn't take it, I think, or I didn't take very much at all, maybe 1 dose when my gut was really playing up. I'm trying to look on, I've got everything recorded on here. But anyway, yeah, so it's been about a week or so that I've been taking it, but yeah, it took too much to start with, had to back right off, and then just kind of finding my best dose right now. And I have a feeling that because my body's adapting to using that it's probably is part of the reason why my weight loss has kind of been not happening as well, because like I know the first few days my energy was really low, and I think it was because my blood glucose was lower, and so my body, because it's not using ketones well, was maybe struggling a little bit for energy, if that makes sense. But now today, I mean, I exercised this morning and felt really good, and I just did some aerobics, some kind of higher impact aerobics, and it felt like I wanted to go harder, but I'm not fit enough, and so I haven't been like that for a little while, feeling kind of frustrated that I just want to go harder, faster, because like I used to, but my fitness isn't enough, and I'm a bit worried about my heart going boom boom boom. So I had to kind of keep it a little bit steadier, I guess, and because I've still got my crook knee as well and crook elbow, so I'm going to have a treatment tomorrow, so hopefully I can sort those out. So yeah, so the Allulose is really interesting, and I'm pretty happy with my results so far, and so I'm hoping that my body adapts to it a little bit, my gut, and then I can just up my dose a little bit and just see what happens, because the Allulose helps to fix insulin resistance. One of the reasons I think I said that I decided to try it was, I've listened to Ben Bickman talking about it, I've listened to Nick Norwitz, and then with Dr. Boz talking about it as well, and then listening to other people, other doctors and that talking about it. I just thought, this is something that I can use to hopefully help to reverse this insulin resistance faster than I might otherwise be able to do it. In the past, over the last couple of years, I've used Allulose just very occasionally if I've been doing some kind of sweet for, a special occasion, like at Christmas time I did a baked cheesecake and I used the Allulose in that. And, occasionally I'll make, some carnivore ice cream and I might use a little bit of Allulose in that just for a little bit of sweetness. But this is not about the sweetness. This is about using it as a medication. So if I put some in my coffee or my dandelion coffee or whatever, it's got I actually don't find Allulose very sweet at all. It's got a very slight sweetness, but not enough to make it worthwhile really putting it in there for the sweetness, if you get my drift. But it's using it as a medicine, basically, to help to fix my metabolic issues. Fingers crossed. So if you don't know how Allulose works, it actually works a little bit in the same way as Ozempic or Wegovy, these GLP-1 agonists. It helps to raise your GLP-1 levels, which then help to increase satiety, slow down gastric emptying. That's one of the ways that it works, but it has other effects. So the GLP-1 being higher has other effects as well. So it can actually help with anxiety and stuff as well. It plays a role with the Ozempic and the Wegovy, those drugs. What they're finding is that they can help with all sorts of things. So they help with autoimmunity and different things like that as well. And it's all to do with the GLP-1. So I'm kind of quite interested to see what effect this has on me over a bit of time, because anxiety and stress have been a thing for me. So yeah, this is something that I'm kind of really interested to play with and see how it goes. The other thing that I'm actually doing as well is I started taking Akkermansia muciniphila. Yeah, I'm reading it off my screen here. Akkermansia. I've thought about trying this probiotic for ages, and it has an effect as well on GLP-1, but it's also supposed to be very good for the gut and helping to heal the leaky gut and that sort of thing. And so because my gut is always, and my bowel is always the thing that kind of plays up whenever I change anything, I kind of know that there's something that's still not right in there. So I thought that I would try Akkermansia and see if it helps. And so finally bit the bullet and bought it because it's quite expensive. And I'm trying that as well. So far so good. I've only been taking it for 3 days. No real issues. And as I said today, I'm feeling pretty good. So we'll see how that goes as well. So I kind of figure it's a bit of a double whammy if the Akkermansia helps with the GLP-1 side of things as well, and the metabolic issues, because it can do that. So watch this space. I will be doing some more videos updating on how all of this is going, and I'm tracking all my blood glucose and my ketones and everything so that I can kind of report on how it's all going. Hopefully when I report next week and I do a video, I will be down some more weight. We will see how that goes. Now, with regards to where to get Allulose, after listening to Ben Bickman and Nick Norwitz and different other doctors, one of the probably better brands that are on the market are RX Sugar. I will pop a link to them below if you want to check them out. They have just the plain allulose, and then they have other products with allulose in them as well. From what I understand, they're a very good company who are doing the right thing and doing a lot of research on this to be able to help with the whole obesity, weight loss, metabolic problem. That is a real issue, especially in our Western nations. So they're worth checking out. And as I said, I'll put my link down below if you want to go and have a look at them. So that's it for today. If you've got any comments or questions, fire away below. If you have tried Allulose for this sort of thing and had results, I'd be really interested to know. Just pop that below as well. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and like and share with anyone who may be interested. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again another day. Goodbye for now.